Hi there. My name is Pilaria. I've been intending to start a podcast for a very long time. In fact, I told myself August for sure, but here it is, September 7th, 2025, and I'm going to film my first one. I'm sorry if there are technical difficulties. I kind of have some feedback with my microphone, but whatever, who cares about that, right? What I'm here to talk to you about are many, many things, but today I want to tell you about why I believe in God. Some people don't like the word God. I get it. I'm not into the big heavenly father with the beard in the sky. My conception of God is much, much different given my personal experience with it. I'm not sure it's personal, but it seems to me it's impersonal and personal, both. It seems to me it's male and female, both. It seems to me it's part of everything. But anyway, I'll just tell you. When I was in my 20s, early 20s, which is a very long time ago, I would say this is probably the summer of 1979 or 1980. So yes, I could be your grandmother, great-grandmother for all I know. At any rate, way back then, in my 20s, I was happy kind of for the first time in my life because my father had moved out of my mom's house. I had had at least 1 year at the University of Kansas. Or maybe I was going to start the next fall, but I was very excited about that. The University of Kansas is just gorgeous. The buildings and the ivy, literally ivy-covered towers, the campanile, everything about it was phenomenal. It was a great experience I wish everyone could have. Anyway, I'm lying out in the sun in this summer, living with my mom only, just she and I, just feeling good and thinking, wow, maybe my life could be good. And as I lay there in the sun, and this is going to be hard to understand, but it was as if the sun came down to me. And I will never forget the experience of intense joy and love. And I knew everything was okay. And I knew we were all part of something very, very big, and that we would never die, and that things are beautiful, I guess, on the other side, or that we are just so beloved and we're part of love. Anyway, so that was pretty amazing. And that is why I believe in a God, or whatever you want to call it. Universal consciousness, collective unconscious. There are many, many, many names for it. At any rate, my friend came over. I was in Olathe, Kansas, where I spent a lot of my teen years. Left when I was 18 or 19. At any rate, my friend came over and brought me a book I hadn't seen before. It had been published, I think, a couple of years before, called, I don't know if you can see it, Life After Life. And it was basically the first time I read about people who had had near-death experiences, and these experiences of the light in the tunnel and going through the tunnel and having this magnificent feeling of everything's phenomenal and fine. And when I read it later, just kind of flipped through it after she left and told me about it, I was like, I told her too, I had the most amazing experience. It's not going to sound like much, but it was truly life-changing. Then, a couple of weeks later, I am a reader. Maybe this is why God decided to verify my experience with me this way. I was in a bookstore, and a book fell off the shelf, literally in front of me. And that book, I still have it. It's called Cosmic Consciousness. And it is about dozens of men, because we don't write about women. I'm sure women had it too. And do I say dozens? Is it dozens? Maybe more than a dozen. I don't really know exactly how many. But they all have had experience of light or fire, where they experience the divine through that. So I just wanted to tell you my story today to start with. And I do have part two. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute.